All right, guys. Today, we're gonna go over quickly a few naming of functional groups and naming alkanes, and doing a problem related to constitution isomer of alkane. All right. Let's begin with uh, naming functional groups. So, for example, if you're given a compound like this one and was told to name the functional groups here. So the ring we call a benzene. So this is a benzene ring. Also, we call it an aromatic ring. Um, so this aromatic ring is attached to this carbon, and the carbon is attached to this OH group. The OH group here we call an alcohol group, functional group, and then this ring has attachment with this nitrogen group, and the nitrogen group is attached to this carbon. This nitrogen uh, attached to this carbon and the ring, we call this an amine functional group. All right, all right. Let's move on to the next one. Here again, you can see we have this ring, but this ring is actually not a benzene ring. It's not aromatic. It's just a it's a cyclohexane ring, which has an attachment to this functional group. I want to actually mark this whole thing as a ketone. And then here we have a alkene functional group. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Again, you can see that we have a aromatic ring here. Again, this is a benzene ring. The benzene ring is attached to this nitrogen. This time this nitrogen is attached to this carbonyl group here. This carbonyl group. And this carbonyl group is attached to this carbon as well. So we actually call this group here a amide functional group. Amide. So we have two functional groups here, a benzene and an amide. All right, this one's a little different. We have a triple bond, which we call a alkyne functional group, and we have this carbonyl group attached to this chloride atom, which we call a acid chloride group, functional group. Okay, so we have two here as well, and our last one here, at first it looks a little complicated because we have these double rings, but they're actually just alkane cyclohexanes. So there's no benzene rings here. Again, we have this group here, uh, which we previously said this is a ketone functional group. Again, here is a alkene functional group, and here's another one as well. So two alkene functional groups here and a ketone. All right, now we're gonna move on to naming some alkanes. So if you were told a name and then, for example, like here, let me just fix this brush since, for example, like here, if you're given a name and told to draw the alkane, first thing I would do, so for example, this one is called 2-methyl heptane. First thing I would do is find the parent name, the longest chain, um, and the compound. So it's usually given at the end of the name. So this is the longest chain, which is a heptane. And heptanes are usually um, seven chain links. So just like this right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I like to number them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Also in this name we have um, there's two metal group here, and the 2 stands for the metal, meaning the metal is on carbon number 2. So we would draw our metal group just like that. So here it is 2-methyl heptane. Let's do the next one. 4-ethyl 3,4-dimethyl nonane. So again, the parent chain is the nonane, which stands for 9 carbon chain. So let's draw that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. We have an ethyl group on carbon number 4, so let me number them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oops, that's a 5. Uh, Let me erase that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So on carbon number 4, there's the ethyl group. So let me draw that here. There's the ethyl group. Ethyl's to carbon link chain, and we are told that there is on carbon number 3 and 4, there is a metal group. So here's our carbon number 3. Here's a metal, and here's another metal. So here it is 4 ethyl 3,4-dimethyl nonane. All right, let's move on to the next one, 4-ethyl 2,2-dimethyl hexane. Again, hexane is our parent long chain, the longest chain. So it's hexane stands for 6 link chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have an ethyl on carbon number 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Carbon number 2, we have ethyl. No, on carbon number 4, we have a ethyl group. So boom, boom, just like that. And we have 2 metal groups on carbon number 2. So here's our dimethyl groups. And that's that. Let's do the 4-isopropyl 3. There's an error here. Let me just erase this. It should just say methyl, not myrtle. Okay. Methyl heptane. So 4-isopropyl 3 methyl heptane. And again, heptane is our longest chain here. So let me draw that right down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a isopropyl group, so it would go like this. That's our isopropyl group. And we have a metal group on carbon number 3, just like that. And that's 4-isopropyl 3 metal group. And our last one looks like we have a trimetal with the heptane parent chain. So again, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, we have a metal group here. 3, 4, we have a 2 metals, and that's 2, 4, 4 trimethyl heptane. All right, guys, let's move on to actually start naming them from looking at the compounds. All right, so let's start with A. If you're given a compound like this, usually what you want to do is look for the longest chain first, longest carbon chain here. I would like to go from the left here because there's a substituent metal group right next to it, so it would give us the lowest number. Um, the substituent would get the lowest number when going from the left to right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 we call a pentane. So here we have a pentane, and we have a metal group on carbon number 2, just like that. And to name this, I would write it like this: 2 methyl pentane, and that's the name for that one. All right, let's move on to the next. Let me erase this right here. Okay, so if you were given this one, we have a little bit more there. Okay, if you were given a compound like this one, again, I would look for the longest carbon chain. So here I would like to maybe go from right, because if I go from right to left, these two groups will get the lowest numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Make that 2. So 4 is a butane, so butane, and we have looks like 2 metal groups here on carbon number 2. Like I said, going from right to left gets the lowest substituent number compared to going from left to right. So we have a dimethyl group on carbon number 2. So 2, 2, dimethyl. So I would name it 2, 2, dimethyl butane. All right, let's move on to C. Again, here I want to do, what I want to do is look for the longest chain, which gives these substituents the lowest numbers. So going maybe from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have substituents coming off this chain here, here, and here, and they're all metals. So we have a trimetal. So a 5 is a pentane, and we have metal groups on carbon number 2, and 2 metal groups carbon number 3. So 3, 3. This is a trimetal, and I would name it 2, 3, 3 trimethyl pentane. All right, so let's go to D. Let me erase this. All right, so like the last one, here, same idea. We're going to go from left to right because the substituents are closer to this carbon number 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5. We have a pentane. And looks like we have now 4 metal groups. That's a tetra metal group, metals involved in this chain. And there's 2 on carbon number 2. And then there's 2 on carbon number 3. Tetramethyl. Tetra just meaning 4. And I would name it 2, 2, 3, 3, tetramethyl pentane. All right, and let's go. Let's do this one. So let me erase these numbers.